for Robert Saleh, and I know that he, this morning, in what can only be described as a stunning development, said, oh, we're not going to actually back off on the hard count. Well, really? I mean, it's one of the, it's I don't even know where to begin. It is so frustrating that I don't know where to go. And, you know, I'm not the kind of, I know there were talk show hosts out there that say, well, I'm a coach killer. I love I don't want to get anybody fired. I don't want to see anybody get fired. But you got to call them like you see them. It's my job to point out when I think someone is bad at their job. Saleh's been here too long to not point that out. He's had a couple of bad sets of circumstances, some of which were not his fault. I don't blame him for Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles 4 plays into last season. I don't blame him for Zach Wilson being an unimaginable bust, although I think there is a lot of organizational blame to go around for that, and the head coach has to get a bunch of it. But I'll tell you what else I don't like. When the opposing team's kicker misses a field goal that would not have ended the game one way or the other, and you're running up and down the sideline like you're a cheerleader, that's not what a head coach should be doing. A head coach should be thinking 4 plays ahead by then, instead of watching their team when all they need is 30 yards, put together one of the worst and worst designed and worst looking offensive drives with your game on the line that you've ever seen in your life. Robert Saleh is just not a head coach. And it's just a question of time before that becomes official.
I think we could live with the body language. I think we could live with the just abhorrent news conferences if there was any indication over the last 3 years that he had any idea what he's doing. But it's pretty clear now that Robert Saleh was a good defensive coordinator in San Francisco, and that's it. And much like the Jets had a bad offseason a year prior and going into the season with Rodgers and then Zach Wilson, and so, in other words, no plan B at quarterback. You could look at the head coach situation right now and say it was a mistake for them to go into this season without having a backup option as their head coach if and when this inevitably happened.
Yeah, and look, I'm hearing from a lot of people who are close to the situation who, and it was no secret that the Jets considered making that change during the offseason. And I'm hearing a lot of names, like the name out there that I keep hearing a lot is Mike Vrabel, that they could have had him and that Rodgers likes him and that they didn't do it. And for whatever reason, anyway, it's disheartening is what it is. And hopefully everything gets better. But I mean, you're staring right now at Minnesota, Buffalo, and then Pittsburgh.
Would you rather have Nathaniel Hackett coaching this team, though?
Well, that's a pretty awful option to give. I mean, that's when you're basically saying, would you rather have Robert Saleh or Nathaniel Hackett be your head coach? What are their combined head coaching records? Like, if you look up, these are the options you're presenting me with.
Oh, God.
And I understand that hiring from without 4 games into a season just isn't a thing that happens.
That doesn't ever happen, right? Has it ever happened? I was trying to think through that.
It's probably happened, but I can't think of a time.
Not in a modern.
Like, what is Robert Saleh's record right now?
I'll pull up the combined record for Saleh.
20 and 35.
Say it again.
20 and 35.
That's for the two of them combined?
That's Saleh, and Hackett was
something
4
really
and
bad.
11.
4 and 11.
So
that's 24 and 46.
Pretty good.
So those are the options you're giving me?
But it's not like we didn't know this. Like when Rodgers chose to come play for the Jets, it's not like at that point Robert Saleh was this ascending coach superstar. I mean, at that point, Robert Saleh was this. He has not shown us to be any different. Nathaniel Hackett was Rodgers' guy, and he should be in the role he's in.
But here's what Saleh had. Saleh had the plausible deniability of, my quarterback situation has been so bad, I had no chance. And the defense got better, and they did this, that, or the other. And that we're just Aaron Rodgers away, and that I'm actually a good coach. And when the alarm bells first went off in my mind, honestly, was during Hard Knocks last year. When you saw him, did you see the speeches he was giving? Like, was I the only one who was thinking, like, this is how he talks to the team? Like, stands up there reading off a teleprompter? And, like, I just, you know who they could hire? All kidding aside, I know I'm helplessly biased on this. Hire Rex. If nothing else, Rex will stand up there and freaking kill you until you get this thing right. And he will cry his eyes out, and he will care like crazy about something beyond just keeping his own job.